Hello and welcome. It's Monday and it's Motivational Monday by Jim and Lucy. Today we're gonna laugh a lot, we're gonna smile, and we're gonna share it with the world. Well, not us, but our special guest is Cathy Nesbitt, and we're gonna talk about laughter that is the best happiness hug ever. Hi, Cathy. How are you doing?
Hi, Jim and Lucy. I'm doing great. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you very much for joining us. And well, we know you do a lot of important work. Please tell our listeners more.
Yeah, so my working title is Cathy Crawley, Laughing Bean Queen. It's simple solutions for today's challenges. Worms for amending the soil, in the house, worms in the house. Who doesn't want that? It's okay. I've met most. Sprouts for eating, grow your own, and laughter for overall health and wellness. Yeah, so I'll let you ask me something from there. Take a pick.
Well,
Take your pick.
for our listeners who can't see Cathy, I want you to know is that this woman is like a shot of an epidural pin or adrenaline into your heart. She comes on board with a lot of enthusiasm, and she's not your quintessential motivational speaker. This lady, she is somebody that embodies thinking positively, and I am so impressed. You must have been something at 6 years old.
That's funny that you said that, Jim, because things happen when in childhood. So I would wake up singing, chip, 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 ta da da. I was like singing, and then I got shut down. It was
No.
like, oh my gosh, like kids are meant to be seen and not heard, and like nobody's
Yes.
that happy in the morning. What are you doing singing already? What are you like? What are you,
Yes.
a bird?
I've heard those words actually.
and so, so funnily enough, like, and now, like at the time, of course, then I went into myself. Of course, I became silent. I was seen and not heard, and I took that on. I became that. And I'm so grateful now because I'm a speaker. It's like, oh, thank goodness they shut me up, because I might not have had so many words to say now. Like now I got all this stuff to say. Yeah.
I have so much I want to talk to you about, but we're going to go on. So, honey, go on.
Well, we already laughed a lot, but my question is, we hear a lot of secret tools to happiness, to better life, to enjoying your life, like practice gratitude, practice this, practice that, or do this exercise, the being present. And laughter seems the simplest way to happiness. So why is it? Why is it overlooked that often?
Yes, because it's so simple. That's why it's so simple. Because we don't need, there's an expression, oh, English is such a fun language. No laughter, no problem. No laughter, no problem. And I'll break it down. So no laughter, N-O laughter, K-N-O-W problem. So if you're not laughing, then you better have, you got to go to talk therapy. You got to know your problem. If you K-N-O-W laughter, N-O problem. And not no problem, but we're able to focus better. Here's what the mechanism of laughter. When we go into laughter is the opposite of stress. When we go into stress, we lose the operation of our frontal lobe. Blood, lymph, oxygen leaves our brain, so we can get out of fight, flight, or freeze. That's just how it is. We have two nervous systems, out parasympathetic and sympathetic. When we're in sympathetic, we're just go, go, go. We're in stress, and we're not really doing what we need to do. Our brain requires 25% more oxygen than the rest of our body. So when we're stressed, we're not breathing properly. So our body's not getting what it needs. For sure, our brain isn't. Ever lost your keys, phone, glasses, and you're flapping around? I gotta go. In that state, you'll never find your keys because your brain is literally being deprived of oxygen. So laughter, it just forces us. So when we're laughing, ha ha ha, we're totally present. We're not thinking. We're just laughing. So our brain gets oxygenated, and we can think better. We can think more clearly. Have you ever had a fight with somebody and you're screaming at each other? You're totally in emotion, and you think, I can't even think clearly. Because what happens, and that's what happens, is our brain gets disconnected, our frontal lobe, we go into reptilian brain. And so we literally can't think clearly. It's fascinating. So laughter, ha, 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 ha. And then our brain is oxygenated and creativity can pour in then. When our brain is shut, it can't come in.
So, what would you say to people right now who feel like life is more than they can bear, and they have this profound sense of loneliness? Woe is me. The world's crashing, and despite the fact that we hear the U.S. economy is going the best in the world, is going great, that this is happening and so on, and prices are lower, and yet people feel just the opposite. What would you say to them based on what you just told us?
That they need to look at their stress, because stress is managing their life. So if we're laughing, we're not in stress. And it's really that simple. It's our body is this biochemical, magnificent machine. There's so many operations going in our body. And it really comes down to managing our stress. So if you're feeling that way, you need to change your state. Nothing's going to happen in that state because everything is energy. Everything
Bravo,
is
bravo.
right. Everything is energy. So if we're feeling low energy, we're feeling what you said, they're feeling hopeless. I can't remember the words you said. They're just feeling stressed and not knowing what to do. If we change it the other way, we know if we put on a good song and we start singing to that song, all of a sudden we feel good for that moment.
Yes, yes.
Well, it is such a simple tool, and yet many struggle to find that magic button that you switch. So how do you find that button when you're already stressed and there is so much piling up that's going on around?
It's a practice. We know that meditation is good, but we don't meditate once and go, good, I'm done for life. We know that deep breathing is good for us, but we don't do it once and go, okay, good, I'll check that off my list, my list of life. No, it's a practice. What I do, to get to where I am now, I'm 61, and I feel better than ever because I frame my day. We all have 24 hours, and people say, I don't have enough time. Time is an illusion. We have lots of time if we focus on what we want instead of complaining about what we don't want and thinking about how much we don't have energy. Right? If we get up and do something, if you don't have energy and you're feeling hopeless, go help somebody else that has less than you
Yes,
have.
yes.
Right? Like that, like again, simple solution. Just go help someone else and then boom, you're together. Tell your problem to somebody else, and then it's not your burden on your own. You're not just sharing that space with that friend in your head that isn't your friend, right? That internal critic that is always beating you up. It's a practice. To the short answer. You might have noticed there's no short answers. I'm chatty Cathy.
Well, I think that I hope people will replay this episode as well as share it and speak to you, because what you're saying is something that's so powerful. Because many people, to my surprise, are feeling hopeless. Basically, that's a simple word for it: feeling hopeless. And it doesn't matter how physical their challenges are, but they're all mental. It's all a matter of being in the state, and you can snap your state out, like you just said, sharing it with other people. Get out of it. Go read to some kids in the hospital. Go volunteer at a school. Go. There's so many things you can do to get out of it.
Yeah, and it again, I won't state enough. It's a practice. It's something you need to do every day. Building yourself. Self-care is healthcare. Like looking after ourselves is the most important thing that we can do. Because when we feel good, we do good. And so so I have a free laughter club every Tuesday online. So, people are like, I don't have money to go to a gym or what. Okay, come to my laughter club. If you have access to Zoom or to the internet, it's 30 minutes of super fun self-care. I incorporate tapping, brain gym, qigong. I love learning, so I'm always learning so I can do better. I want to always, how can I serve more? How can I do better? How can I live a more fulfilling, joy-filled life? That's what I want to do in this life. We all get to live our own, do what we want. You know why we're attracted to negative? It's because our brain is geared that way. Our brain's role is to keep us safe and conserve energy. That's the brain's role. So it knows what to do. When we hear a negative thing, it's like, I better keep safe. I better stay in because it's not safe out there. That's not really the truth anymore. When in prehistoric days, we needed to know when we were when we were in danger. We're not anymore, not in the same way. Our stress center, the amygdala, has not evolved. So when we go into stress today, it's as if we're in imminent danger, and we're not. If we lose our glasses or our phone or miss the bus, oh, it's annoying, but it's not life-threatening. Our body acts as if, so we get a wash of the stress chemicals, cortisol, adrenaline. When we laugh, we're secreting dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. Have you had your daily dose? Right? So we're literally in charge of our own pharma when we're stressed, cortisol and adrenaline. When we're laughing, when we feel good. And those are connected to the energy. So when we're laughing, we're up here. It's like the dial on a radio. You're not vibing with someone. If somebody's feeling really depressed and low, and you're up here, you're not really connected. It's not really your role as the really high energy person to come down to the low level. You really want to drag them up to your level because then they can see more. And there's so many issues today. Like our technology has us. When I don't have a cell phone that I'll just drop on you just like that, but maybe that's why I'm so happy. But when people are on their cell phone, they have the physiology of depression. They have candy cane neck. Looking down, so looking at something funny or something happy, ha ha ha, but we're sending mixed signals to our brain because our body is saying, I'm depressed, I'm sad. How can we get out of feeling this way? Take up more space. You can do power posing, stand with your hands on your hips and look at yourself in the mirror for 2 minutes. If you're feeling sad or low energy, frustrated, hopeless, depressed, I challenge you to go and stand in the mirror and look at yourself. Arms on your hips or over your, spread wide over your head in a victory pose. For 2 minutes. It's not easy. This is a practice. If you do that, looking at yourself, you all of a sudden you can become stronger. You can become more because we're told to not brag and not be too big and don't get your hopes up. Are you kidding? I tell people get your hopes up high because then if you only make it halfway, like if you don't get your hopes up and then like why would you strive for something?
Absolutely. That's such important practice, habits, tools, exercise, like everything. Thank you for sharing it.
I thought I was feeling good before you came on.
Now you feel
I now feel better.
Oh, I'm so happy.
I'm gonna eat my vegetables now.
Promise.
I'm adding dietitian to my label.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for sharing. Our dear listeners, you must find Cathy, Nesbitt, and join the club because that's just an amazing practice. And replay this episode, save it for later. Just to remind you, sponsor of the month is Type Dreams, the beautiful digital art collection for your marketing and personal use. And for inspiration, it's typedreams.site. Visit today, get your art, and get going. And listen to Cathy, laugh, enjoy, do the exercise, and improve your life. Thank you, Cathy.
Thank you, Jim and Lucy. Thank you so much.
This is Motivational Monday by Jim and Lucy.
Follow our podcast
And check out our website, jimandlucywoods.com.